Internet, hello, you absolute lovelies. So sorry about the slight delay and any sort of tech chaos going on. This might not sound as good. It might look a little better, but we tweaked a few things and that caused the live to go awry. Hope you're doing well. I took a week off to finally take a delayed holiday, and I thought it'd be fun to catch up on some of the news I missed last week, as well as the last 2 weeks of comics. This is going to be breaking down my favorite comics from the week of the 7th, the week of the 14th, as well as now that we've gotten all of those Doomsday teasers, kind of culmination looking back at all four of those. I just watched the Wakanda one yesterday because I was out of town when it dropped. And then I wanted to talk about Sebastian Stan. We've got Sebastian Stan as theoretically, maybe conceptually, Harvey Dent in the Batman 2. I want to talk about that because I don't know how definitive that actual casting specificity is. I know he's in the movie, but I had a hard time finding a credible source for him being Harvey Dent himself. So I want to talk all about that. If you're new to this show, if you're new to this page, every week on this show, I break down my 9 favorite comics from the week. I read about 50 to 70 books a week, and then I break down my favorite 9 for you right here. We've got 2 weeks worth this week. Usually I've got it with a fancy schmancy graphic and stream deck, but for some reason I couldn't get YouTube to accept a stream from outside. I have to use the direct webcam, which means I don't have any tech coming in today. So we're just going to do it with phone screen and holding up comics. So we're going to get to that later on. But if you like pop culture, if you like movies, if you like TV, if you like comic books specifically, please hit that subscription bell. We talk all about that right here. And you guys guide the conversation with any and all StreamYard, Streamlab, Super Chat, any of that. I will not leave until we answer every single super chat here. So if you have any questions for me, now's the time and place. We'll get those in. There's already a couple in here, which I appreciate very much. Let's talk the first news story, and then we'll take a little break and answer some super chats. All right, so I wanted to kick this off with Sebastian Stan. Now, this is incredible casting. This is inspired casting. I'm very excited to see. It's insane. We're going to see Sebastian Stan and Scarlett Johansson together in a film outside of the MCU. Actors work all the time. Plenty of actors in the MCU have worked in DC. Plenty of DC actors have worked in Marvel. It is not that crazy. I can't think of a more iconic pair. In the comic books, Winter Soldier and Black Widow got a little thing going on. That hasn't really been a thing in the movies, but I mean, a little bit teased. But it's really cool to see two icons of Marvel teaming up in a very different tone. Now, I personally think that these are two of the better actors in the world of comic book acting. They're both very defensive of the medium. They're both very talented actors as performers in general. And I really like that they're both very aware of the fandom. I love when actors are passionate in interviews and I mean, Scarlett Johansson produces. Sebastian Stan is always advocating for the medium. So I'm really excited to see them do something in the darker, grittier world of comic books. The world of comics is so varied. There's so many different types of comics. I personally love the grounded ones a little bit more than the cosmic overall. I dig it all. But what Matt Reeves has done has made the Batman feel downright Fincher-esque. The Batman feels so in a real world. So I cannot wait to see these two actors play in that sandbox with comic characters. Now, I do believe that Scarlett Johansson is Gilda Dent. I do believe that Sebastian Stan might be Harvey Dent, but we don't actually have confirmation on that because all of the sources I could find were people kind of pointing other places, and there hasn't been like a locked in confirmation that I have found. And that intrigues me quite a bit because it had been a rumor a few weeks ago when you guys saw me reporting on it. I had been very hopeful. I'm a huge fan of Brad Pitt. And I was like, man, if Brad Pitt shows up, that is the complete Fincher package between the DP, the tone, and frequent collaborator. But it does not seem that Brad Pitt, it seems like that was just a rumor. That said, Sebastian Stan is someone who I could see doing a very different take than we've seen before with Harvey Dent, if that is the case. very excited for an official announcement. Very excited for the confirmation. This movie is coming out in 2027. So we do have plenty of time leading up till any sort of confirmations might have to happen. But no matter what, this definitely raises my already very lofty expectations for the Batman Part 2. I really, really appreciate his work. I think, honestly, what we're going to get surprised me in these first casting announcements. Sorry, I've got a sneeze and it's not coming out. These first casting announcements really surprised me because we've always seen the Matt Reeves universe as the gritty, as the grounded. Everyone kind of assumed we were getting either Court of Owls or Hush. I think of Harvey Dent as being a little bit more of the heightened side. The Dark Knight obviously made him a very grounded character, but you have to have that, suspension of disbelief that a man would survive in an hour with his face gone. So I was surprised if it is in fact Harvey Dent that this is the way we're going. It's very intriguing to me if they do something that feels like Long Halloween-esque again, or if Harvey Dent is just an important factor in a Hush story or a Court of Owls story. He could play anywhere. He's very important to Batman mythos. So if that does turn out to be true, very curious if it turns into Two-Face at all, if we get into that heightened reality or not. But either way, Sebastian Stan, very excited. Let's check on some super chats, you lovelies, and then we're going to talk about those 4 Doomsday teasers. I spent all this time ingesting the graphics into the Stream Deck and setting it all up so I can press these buttons. I'm so bummed that it's not working. I had such graphics prepared. All right, we got our first super chat. Thank you very much to Dan V900. Dan V900, who asks, Terminator Volume 1, after being solicited originally 11 months ago and again in June, had the 3rd try as a charm. I ordered it from In-Stock Trades on Tuesday, which is amazing graphic novel discounts. All right, there's a lot in here. Terminator Volume 1, exceptional book from the great Declan Shalvey, usually an artist, great writer, it turns out, killing it on Terminator. Lovely fella as well, like Declan quite a bit. It looks like it's been delayed a number of times, but it's finally coming out. Love to hear that. I read comics in floppy, so I don't really keep track of the graphic novel schedule. Love that you're getting your hands on it. And In-Stock Trades, we're plugging here. In-Stock Trades sounds like a great place to get a discount on trade paperbacks, which I always support. Again, I'm usually a floppies guy. I'm a weekly Wednesday warrior. I like going to the comic store. My comic store that I'm going to mention right here that I literally went to yesterday, House of Secrets, Burbank. This is where I get my comics here, and Golden Apple Comics on Melrose are my 2 spots, but that's how I shop. And then I also get comics mailed to me from some of the publishers. And then I personally, if I like the run and I want to have it as part of my collection outside of floppies, I do big old hard copies. I love like a nice edition like so. Usually a little oversized, bigger print. There's usually some behind the scenes stuff. But either way, I like to see the comic in a slightly different format after, if I love it, like if it's in my top 20. So that's how I read comics, and I love that it looks like In-Stock Trades has great discounts. Thank you very much for all that, Dan V900. I appreciate you, man. Spidey Sensei 72. Thank you very much for the PS5 fund, you lovelies. We are doing a thing here on these live streams where by default, the money goes to the house fund because I one day want to own a home and I try to be a clever saver. I try to put my money in vaults, and the house is the dream. I want to have kids. I want to have a house. I still believe it is possible for millennials to own a home, but it's going to be some years. So by default, it goes to the house fund. But if you label what it is when I do the inevitable cashing out of all of the Streamlabs and Super Chats, I'm keeping track. And the other choice in here is the PS5 fund. I do want to get a PS5 for Wolverine. I have a PlayStation 4. I don't use nearly enough. I beat the Spider-Man game. I am 4 hours into the Miles Morales game. Sometimes I play Wipeout. I've got an unopened UFC game. I got to play more games. I just don't have time. But when Wolverine comes out, I do want to cover that, but I cannot rationalize getting a PS5 for like one game. But if we team up and over time put that fund, I think I want to cover it. And that's this year. So we're killing it on the PS5 fund. Thank you very much, Spidey Sensei. Also, love to Spidey Cat. He is doing better. I've got him. He was down like 2 pounds, which was crazy. It was scary. It got him up a pound, so he's only down a pound. We're getting better. We're doing wet food. I'm sitting holding him while he eats. We're getting better. It's a process. I appreciate it. And go Bills! from Spidey Sensei, not for me. I'm not following sports this season. I apologize to everyone for me not knowing what's happening in sports. But go Bills! It would seem. I'll allow it because I have no skin in the race, skin in the game. All right, let's see here. Next up, we got a bunch of super chats. You lovelies are. Let's keep going through super chats, and then we'll jump into some Doomsday coverage. We got a super chat from Chase Wampler. Chase Wampler, thank you very much. Hey, Coy. With the Lantern show being terrestrial based, how far would you personally dive into the Green Lantern mythos in the span of the show? I am very curious how much is terrestrial versus, ending up in space at any point. I do know that it starts there from what I've heard, but I would love to see in the mythos them go more cosmic. What's cool about the Lanterns is you can do a lot with storytelling in a location that builds out the mythos and then cut to those places and then cut back to Earth for like an Earthbound mystery. I think they'll go pretty deep in the mythos. Obviously it's a show, so we got more screen time. We've got more hours to tell a story, but I really hope they don't rush too much because that's, I think, one of the problems with Green Lantern, the movie. You've got someone like Martin Campbell, that incredible director, but it just felt like they were trying to throw it all at you once. Luckily, we've got, 6-8 hours, whatever it ends up being, to tell stories, but I do think we'll get pretty deep into the lore of the Lantern, wherever it's set. I think we still can do that. N8 Manitude, Nate Manute, dude. I'm sorry, Nate. I'm bad at this. Nate Manu, I appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat. Nate asks, hey, Coy, Happy New Year. Happy New Year as well. Seeing Bone Temple today at 150. Love to hear it. It is so good. I did a ton of coverage on it. Not a ton, but I did a lot of coverage because I love it dearly. I did an Out of the Theater review. I did a full-length review, which dropped 2 days ago. I am doing interviews with Jack O'Connell and Nia DaCosta that drop at Real Rejects anytime now. I think it's today or tomorrow. Jack O'Connell, absolute delight. Been a fan of him forever. Nia DaCosta, huge fan of her Candyman. Even bigger fan of Bone Temple. She is a force and a lovely person to talk to. She's fierce and intelligent and wonderful. Big fan of these two. Interviews drop at Real Rejects. Loved the Bone Temple. I want to. Ray Fiennes is on the must. You got to sit down with that man, but he wasn't in New York. I flew to New York for those. That's why I wasn't here for last week's live stream. I was in New York and then it took Christmas. So yes, I got a lot of love for Bone Temple. It's only January, but it is likely to make my top 10 of the year. I loved it so much. With the wife and Guinness Zero. That's a good day. It's a good day. Much love from Sonoma County. Happy to catch you in SF. I assume we met at Fan Expo because I've only been at SF a couple times, and it was lovely to meet you, I assume, because I didn't meet anybody I didn't like at Fan Expo, so I appreciate it, man. Thank you. A Guinness Zero, a Bone Zero, and a Bone Temple. Boy, oh boy, that is a good day with the wife. Enjoy that, dude. That is a quality Saturday. Thank you very much for the kind words and the super chat. We've got Matt Krugman, member. We got a member, Matt Krugman. Guys, eventually, once we hit like 50 members, I'm going to do like the occasional members only live stream. I like this member thing. I haven't really figured out how I want to use it, but I love to see it and I appreciate it very much. It does help the channel, and super chats help the channel immensely. The job I do of reading 50 to 70 comics is 20 happily unpaid hours, and then gathering all the news, setting it up, and everything else. You guys help make this show work because these streams only make like $7 or $8 because we're growing the channel, and I'm very appreciative. So everyone that's joining in, thank you for being part of this actual comic centric goal of a channel with lots of movies and TV obviously as well, but I really love being comic supportive. Matt Krugman, back to your question. Thank you very much for the question. Can't catch the live show today as I'm bartending. Hell yeah. But I'm happy to chime in on the Sebastian Stan Batman casting as I am all for it. Time to go pour a Guinness. Guys, we need to acknowledge that in the first 10 minutes of the show, in the first 3 super chats, 4 or 5, within the first 5 super chats, we've got 2 mentions of Guinness. And I respect that. I appreciate it. I love to see it. That's a Saturday energy I'm here for. Go pour that Guinness. Go have a good bartending shift. Thank you very much. Douglas McKinney, the way these green lights glow. Douglas McKinney got me these, setting up my set. He's an angel. He's a scholar. Got me my spinner rack mere months later for Christmas. What a fella. Good sir, Darth Vader says, hope you had a good visit with your family. It was lovely. I just turned 54 this week, and my fam got me a couple graphic short boxes. How is Spidey Cat doing? Happy birthday, first and foremost, 54. Enjoy it. Good times I hope were had. I had a lovely 4-day visit with my family. I was in New York for 3, and then in Georgia with my family for 4. My grandparents drove up from Virginia. I got to see them as well. I shot a video for you guys. I tried not to work, but inevitably work does happen. And I thought, you know what? While I'm all mic'd up, me and my dad shot a Supergirl video. My dad read Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow in honor of the movie coming out because he's a big comic guy, got me into comics, and we've never had a chance to do a movie anticipatory comic video. So we read the 8 issues, then watched the trailer for the first time, and we talk all about the trailer, the comic, Tom King, Bill Quisevely, expectation, all of that dropping next week, either Monday or Wednesday. That video is coming. So keep your eyes peeled on a father and son comic chat. And Spidey Cat is doing much better. He's up a little bit of weight, and he's definitely still a little off, like he's lethargic and stuff, but he's eating, and I'm very happy and very grateful he's doing good. And thank you for asking. I love my little man. All right, guys, we got a lot. I'm going to do one more, and then I'll come back to the next few after. Thank you. Keep them coming. We're not ending this until we get every single one. Actually, you know what I have to do? Speaking of the great Darth Vader, I got to turn off this green light because my computer's about to die, and that's going to be the moment that I do lose you guys before I answer every super chat. So I only have so many plugs in arm's reach. Okay, it's not as cool, but we need light and we need power. All right, guys, we're doing great on this fine Saturday. As you can tell, when the things didn't work out at the opening, it threw everything in a tizzy. Let's get back to the news. Let's talk Doomsday. All right, you lovelies. So Avengers Doomsday released 4 teasers that the Russo brothers then came out and said were not necessarily trailers. They weren't necessarily what we think they are. Pay attention. And that's paraphrasing. They said it much more succinctly. A lot of people have this time code theory that they, looked at all the movies and the code that's clocking down ties into the time travel. That's a theory. I don't know if it's true, but that's one of the things the internet's saying. I don't know if these bits of footage are in the movie because these guys famously gave us that Hulk scene, which I love because it misled us into thinking Hulk was in Infinity War. Awesome. Love it. Please do more like that for marketing. Now, all 4 of these do have really cool thematic elements. The first they released was a Captain America one that was obviously the Steve Rogers reveal of him returning, and also the reveal got a baby. Second one, Thor in Infinity War and Endgame mode, much more serious, got his Infinity War hair on. Talking again about a child, protecting a child, however, going into battle so his child doesn't become like him. Beautiful language, poetry of a second trailer. Third trailer, my favorite. I'm just going to call them trailers whether they are or not. We got some X-Men. Not only do we get X-Men, we get comic accurate nods to the X-Men. We get an Xavier crest with the actual X on it. We get some purple tones in Magneto. We get Jim Lee's 90s Cyclops costume that I've waited my whole life to see on an actor. James Marsden getting that finally after 25 years. I'm so excited he's in the yellow spandex that was joked about 25 years ago. Fourth trailer, very interesting because Black Panther started in Fantastic Four. Now, we unfortunately lost the great Chadwick Boseman, so in a multiverse somewhere, that trailer was T'Challa meeting the Fantastic Four, which would tie into the comics beautifully. But I love that they're honoring a comic team up in the 4th trailer because Fantastic Four, 4th teaser, but it's a Wakanda FF collab. That's a big deal. One of the things about these great team up movies is seeing these characters interact. Comic book team ups are exciting. It's really wonderful to see things you never thought you'd see. In fact, speaking of, it's the anniversary of my favorite of those big team ups. And they just reprinted it in a giant oversized facsimile. Love this. This is obviously a Marvel DC versus a Marvel, but I love when characters team up and collaborate. And it's really cool to see in that 4th teaser, them leaning into that for the Wakandan FF moment that comic fans are going to be excited by. Now, all of that to say, these are 1 minute each and they end with a little time code. They announce who's coming back. It's a big deal. It's really cool. I do think I would have ended on the X-Men just for the impact, but I like the team up. I just don't know if non-comic fans felt the as much as comic fans. My only other concern is if they do all of the cool X-Men stuff we've waited forever for, are we going to be as excited for the new X-Men team? If we get the comic accurate suits with James Marsden, which he's earned, which he deserves, which he should have had a long time ago, will we be as excited for the new X-Men they bring in a few years if we've just had our classic X-Men? I think we will, but my concern is like, okay, it's now not a once in a, my God, I've never seen this before moment to see the Sentinels fighting a Jim Lee Cyclops. My only concerns. Otherwise, all this is dope. Otherwise, all of this is exactly my jam. I think it looks great. I I still have all the concerns I had 6 months ago at Comic-Con when they announced Downey as Doom. I will stand on that, as I cannot wait to be proven wrong. I have said it. I'm exhausted by talking about it, but that will be the biggest asterisk for me until we get to Doomsday. That said, everything they've done since then has been great. The chairs was insane. We all talked about chairs for days. I'm still talking about chairs right now. These teasers, fantastic. Great writing, great visual splendor, lots of intrigue. We are a year out, and I am so excited for Doomsday. The hype machine is working. I just want to give it its flowers, because that is no small feat after everyone has. It's become really popular to be upset with Marvel. Like, when you're an empire and you fall, people celebrate, right? So, like the Patriots, they won all the Super Bowls. When they started losing, people were very happy. Marvel, the biggest thing in movies, they start failing, yay, celebrate. I had been team, hey, they have more hits than misses. But whenever they have a miss, if I would critique it, everyone would say, like, oh, it's DC now, blah, blah, blah. I don't go to the Marvel store. I don't go to the DC store. I go to the comic store and I read both. We're going to talk about both here in a moment, because there is no gang war. It's stupid that the companies literally work together. They just did it again this year. They've got another one of these coming out. So all that to say, I still think they have more hits than misses. I still think they are doing very well with consistency overall, but I would love to see the level of consistency they had before. I still think they have a lot of great stuff after Endgame. I'm so excited for Wonder Man. In a week and a half, I'll be covering it on this page. It's coming out. All 8 episodes are coming out the same day. I do not want to do a one big season review. I got too much respect for Yahya Abdul-Mateen II for that. I have too much respect for the whole team behind it. So I'm probably going to do 2 episode chunks, because they're half an hour. It's like a sitcom, I assume, like the feel. So I think I'll do like an hour per. So I think I'll do 4 videos on that. I think that's the plan. So I'm very excited about that. That drops on the 27th. Yeah, so I'm very much team MCU is killing it, but I am reluctant with certain elements of Doomsday. But overall, this hype is working. I'm very excited. Would love to know what you think in the chat. Would love to know what you think in the comments below. Did you like that teaser rollout? Are you excited by the Fantastic Four Wakanda team up to the same scale as the X-Men hype? The only reason I bring it up is I think the X-Men hype is much more mainstream, whereas the FF Wakanda thing is so comic niche. I don't know if I would have ended, even though it's 4 and that's fun. I don't know if I would have ended on that one after the X-Men one felt like, oh my God, the internet broke. But I liked all 4 for very different reasons. I liked the impact of a character reveal in the first. I liked the impact of remembering why you like a character and the writing in the second. I liked the awe and the splendor and the visuals of the third, and I liked the comic nicheness of the fourth. They all did something different for me. Would love to know your thoughts. Let's check on some more super chats before we get to the comics of the last 2 weeks. Dan V900 coming back. Thank you very much for the super chat, good sir. Dan V saying, if ScarJo is Gilda, like it seems to be, she should not be the Phantasm with merging. It defeats the purpose of Andrea. Sebastian Stan is great casting as Harvey, and being Bruce's friend, like Batman the Animated Series, is new. Yeah, I like when the canon of Harvey Dent and Bruce Wayne being friends is played with. It's not traditional comic canon, but I think it works thematically. I could see Sebastian Stan and Robert Pattinson being homies. I think that's going to be really interesting. I do agree with you about Phantasm. I think Andrea is a very important character. I think you do lose a lot of Phantasm with, you need the history. I don't think he should have history with Gilda. That's messy with the friendship with Harvey. But Andrea is such a cool character. Andrea Beaumont. I would love to see her, but I don't know what they're doing. Maybe we will see. Time will tell. And I trust Matt Reeves. I trust Mattson Tomlin, the team, the writing team behind that, and the directing of Matt Reeves. I'm so excited. Top to bottom, most anticipated of 2027. I can say next year now. Most anticipated of next year is The Batman Part 2. Next up, super chat from Jesus Gastelum 704. A very generous super chat. Thank you very much, good sir. I appreciate it very much. Jesus asks, hey Coy, did you hear that James Gunn said that the Mr. Miracles series is going to play a bigger role in the DCU? You know, I'm glad you asked this, because this was almost my 3rd news story. And then when all my tech broke, I was like, we don't have time to try to add those images in. But I did want to talk about this, so consider this the 3rd news story, brought to you by Jesus Gastelum, because that is a very generous super chat. So let's spend some time on it. Mr. Miracle is my favorite DC comic book of all time. I think it is a genius example of modernizing and making accessible very, very golden age, hard to find palatable characters. New Gods are weird, and it's not an approachable world for non-comic fans. Mr. Miracle makes the son of a god approachable and makes it a father-son story in a fascinating series of ways. Darkseid is such a cool concept. Mitch Gerard's art, we're going to talk about Mitch Gerard's and Tom King actually here in a little bit with comics, but some of the best. I think the photorealism with a distinct style is beautiful. Tom King's writing is so good in that book. It is great. Now they're making an animated series adaptation of it. Tom King is show running it, making me think it's going to be a fairly faithful adaptation. Do you know who has to be in that book? Darkseid. He has to be. He has to be in the cartoon. He is the comic. He's as important as anyone outside of Big Barda and Mr. Miracle. He's like the third lead. I love that James Gunn has been so aggressive about discussing people being cast for multiple things. If you're the voice of something, you are the live action of something, you are the video game of something. So that means Darkseid is being cast right now for the show, which means that will be Darkseid's voice in the movies to come, if and when we get Darkseid. Hugely important for the DCU, because inevitably that's going to be a story that need to be told. So yeah, him confirming it is exciting. Him discussing the impact of the show has me even more hyped for the show. Again, it's my favorite DC comic, so I cannot wait to see an adaptation, especially show run by the writer of said book. All of this has me very excited. I'm so glad you asked. I cannot wait to have more information. We'll be covering that in depth here. We'll be covering it on my show at DC Studio Showcase. You can find it on HBO. You can find it on their YouTube. That's coming back soon. I don't know exactly when, but I know we're schemes are scheming. I can't say too much, but I know it's soon. So yeah, we'll be covering that on multiple places I do work. Probably Real Rejects as well. So keep your eyes peeled on any and all Mr. Miracle stuff, and I'll bring you some here. And I'm very excited to hear that James Gunn confirmed it. Yes. And I love that we get actual quotes with social media, so I can confirm the confirmation. Next up, we got Matt Krugman. Matt Krugman, thank you very much, good sir, coming back in here and asking. Also wanted to ask about binders and albums. I was thinking of putting all my DCKO issues into one when it's all finished. Do you recommend any specific types? Good sir, I think binders are cool. I don't have any recommendations because I don't use them. I love the look of them. I'm a bookcase guy. There's like 5% of comic fans that don't use binders, or the 90% that use long boxes. I think long boxes get very dusty quickly. They look, I don't like the look of them after like a year. So I like bookcases. I use a giant bookcase, and I like to be able to flip through comics. I like the style of the bookcase, so I don't use binders. I think going on message boards, daring Reddit, going into the bowels of the internet with Reddit, I think you can find some great recommendations. I would say that because I don't have one for you personally, but I do like binders. And just be careful when turning the book, and make sure obviously it's bagged and boarded, but just be careful because that bend can mess up shit. But binders are cool visually, and they're nice and tidy, and DCKO is awesome. We'll talk about that more in a minute as well. All right, next up, thank you again, Matt Krugman. Next up, thank you to the Sci-Fi Center H5K for asking, hey Coy, what's the status of the DC Studios show? What can I say? We are definitely filming soon. We are doing a season 2. It is going to air this year. I don't know when. I don't know when I can say, but I do know it's soon. I know I've got a meeting soon, and we're going to be scheming. And in that meeting, we're going to be laying out like a timeline and stuff. And I'm going to ask at that meeting if I can reveal when I know, if you guys can know. But know that it's soon. We're not talking like July. We're talking soon. It won't be like February though, because that's in 2 weeks and we have to film still. So yeah, I would say soon, and that as soon as I'm allowed to tell you, I will. And I'm very excited. I've been talking with those guys because they've become friends, and I'm very excited that I love working with them so much that we talk even in the breaks between seasons, and they're delightful. So I can tell you that, and I can tell you that as soon as I can tell you, you will know. And I appreciate your interest. And anyone that doesn't know about that show, my show, DC Studios Showcase, I'm the comic correspondent that brings you all the comic deets as well as movie and TV deets. And that show airs on HBO and on HBO's YouTube every other Friday. So we've got like a bunch of episodes up now. and I don't know how that's going to go when we come back, if it's going to be weekly or bi-weekly again. But when all that data comes out, you'll be the first to know right here. Thank you for caring. I appreciate that. I love that show. All right, Dan V900 coming back. Saw Bone Temple. Makes me happy. And to me, it showed how restricted Nia DaCosta was with the Marvels. Hedda was very good for her too, and was another Tessa Thompson collab. You know, everyone I've talked to that's worked with Nia DaCosta has loved working with Nia DaCosta. That's a good sign. That shows a director, like, I like that. I love her work. I did not love the Marvels. I loved the actors' portrayals that got to actually be the characters when the writing allowed for it. Like, I think that was the best Carol Danvers. But I definitely feel like that was a studio-directed movie, especially after seeing The Bone Temple and how bold and brazen and bodacious and bonkers it is. I haven't seen Hedda yet, but I love Candyman, so I need to see Hedda, and I'm a big fan of Tessa Thompson, so I definitely need to check it out. But yeah, Nia DaCosta is incredible. This might be my favorite 28 film. I love 28 Days Later. Danny Boyle's a genius. I like 28 Weeks Later. It's very different. It's a more traditional, like a zombie film. 28 Years Later blew my mind because it was so different, and it's tricky because that is maybe my favorite. But then the new one, probably my favorite, but the new one is like a little bit more approachable. Its themes are incredible. It's fun as hell. It's a joy. It's a whimsical, macabre masterpiece. I love the new one. So yeah, the last two have been incredible, and Nia DaCosta is a huge part of why the Bone Temple works. Check it out. It's so special. It literally is the first movie I saw of 2026's slate, because I saw it in December. I saw it before 2026. I saw this movie, and it will likely at the end of the year be in my top 10. It's so good. And this is a huge year. This is an incredible year. See the Bone Temple and watch my review. And watch my interviews. Thank you. All right. Jesus Gastelum coming back with the heat. Asking also thoughts on Ryan Hurst being cast as Kratos for the God of War series. All right, you lovelies. I talked about this a little bit at Real Rejects. Check out it's usually me and Greg's show, but Greg is finally taking his Christmas. Me and Aaron broke down some stuff on the Real Rejects pod yesterday live. But my thoughts, very happy to give Jesus Gastelum because I am very excited. I think video games are going to be a very big thing for adaptations the next 5 years. I don't think that comics are dead and video games are replacing them. I think the genre stuff is just like, we'll have both. I think video games are going to do well. I think comic stuff is going to do well. I think anime is going to do well. Anime is killing it now. But video game adaptations, I think, are going to rise above where they are now. And I think the series idea is really cool because from what I know, God of War is a very long run. I love the look of Kratos. I know David Denman wanted to play him. He told me in his we did an interview for Peacemaker, and I loved talking to him because he is so passionate about Kratos. But I've interviewed Ryan Hurst, and he is so captivatingly menacing while being a friendly fucking guy. Like, he's perfectly nice, but he's just got this menace to him that is awesome. He's got this incredible voice. He's just hyper physical. He's got this gravitational pull to him. I think he's great as Kratos. I think he's such a good actor, dude. Like, he's such a good voice actor. His Thor stuff is cool from a little bit I've heard. I loved him, and he thought it was funny because my pulls were all Remember the Titans, which he was a kid in, but he's so good in that. He is such a delight, and he's so intense, and I think that's perfect for Kratos. I think you got to love the fandom, and he does, and you got to be cool at cons, and he is. I think this is dope. Very excited. Ryan Hurst, Kratos, all about it. Very excited to see what gets cooking there. You guys want to talk some comics? Let's talk some comics. Now, again, if you're new to the show, usually I've got this stream deck and I put the comics up on screen. It looks great. Usually at the news, I would have had these news things up on screen. I loaded it all, but then it didn't connect and we had to go a little late. It's a whole thing. But the comics, obviously, I won't be able to put them on screen. But what I can do is I'm going to hold them up. So we've got 2 weeks worth of comics to discuss. The first week is the first week of the year. These are the comics from January 7th, 2026. These are likely still available at your local comic shop. The goal of this show is, if you like the big comic movies, if you like the big comic TV, I'd love to help you get into comic stores. And if you already love reading comics and you have similar taste as me, if you and I see eye to eye, I love to suggest stuff you might not know. I also love to perhaps get you to avoid some stuff that's not as good. I don't talk shit on this page, though. We don't do any negativity. It's a top 9, so it doesn't feel overwhelming, but I read 50 to 70 a week, about 50 new books and 20 that I'm rereading for the sake of my work and the news. But if you want to see all 50, if you want to see me rate letter grades, A+, A minus, B+, B, B minus, C, C minus, D, etc., patreon.com/koijandro. It's $5 for $5. For the price of one comic, I can hopefully help you find some comics, save some money from some comics, whatever. All of them. So 50 a week times 4, 200 comics I'm rating for $5. I'm also rating every movie and show I see. So check out patreon.com/koijandro. It helps me. Thank you. Let's talk about the comics from the week of January 7th, 2026. First up, my favorites of the week in alphabetical order are Absolute Batman Arkham Special. This is from the great Scott Snyder, who's writing all the Absolute Batman stuff, but a different artist. This is going to be a little different flavor, and it dives into the history of this universe's Arkham. It is a very intense story about psychology, about the broken mind. It's some interesting commentary on the Batman without a lot of Batman in it. It is a very cool book that is violent and gory and messy and full of a lot of twists and turns. I want to reveal too much, so I'm going to go to the beginning of the book. Lots of greatness in here. Batman, the Arkham Special, #1. It is the kind of like an annual for Absolute Batman, and I highly recommend it. Next up, also in alphabetical order, we've got Absolute Superman #15. A new storyline starts here. It says it right there. It says it right there. This kicks off a brand new arc for Absolute Superman, and I really dig it. I actually like this arc a little bit more than the last two from this first issue. Just the beginning kicks off in a really strong way. This feels a little bit more Superman to me than the first 14 issues. I didn't dislike them. I just didn't have it near the top of my list. It's one of the dislike them. I just didn't have it near the top of my list. It's one of the lower of the Absolute. Uh-oh. It froze on my end. I don't know if it froze on your end, but we're gonna reconnect and hope that this, and we're back. Okay, let's hope this stays. We are going to dive back in, ignoring that ever happened. Sorry for the disconnect. We've got Absolute Superman 15. Wasn't one of my favorites from the Absolutes before. Didn't love the first 2 volumes as much as I did, say, Batman, Wonder Woman, Martian Manhunter. But this issue kicks off really, really well. I really dig where they're going. It feels more Clark Kent. It feels more like a blend between the Absolute world and more of a standard traditional Clark Kent. So this is working for me. I dig it. Absolute Superman 15. And again, new jumping on point. Alphabetically, we continue with great week for DC. That first week of January, the first week of the year, DC killing it because we also got Batman #5. This is one of my favorite Batman books of art. This issue is one of the best. How do I even phrase this? I don't want to say what the issue is about too much. The art in this book and the use of art and the style of this, it reminds me of Marco Cicchetto. It reminds me of Bruno Redondo. It is the sensational, the masterclass of, okay, I'm just going to break it down a little. Jorge Jimenez does such a good job with his human characters and with his action. Here, there's a lot of setting and there's a lot of cars and things, but it makes for like a Jet Li, Jackie Chan-esque action book, and Jorge Jimenez just kills it. It is so dynamic, it is so fun, and this is like a big old oversized issue. The action is sensational. I love this issue. It's a really fun, approachable book. Might be my book of the week. I really dug this. Check out Batman #5. Jorge Jimenez killing it. Matt Fraction writing the hell out of it. Big old fan. All right, next up, again, DC killing it. Batman, Green Arrow, The Question, all doing a book called Arcadia. This is in B for Batman in my cataloging. That's why we're here in the Bs. This book is dope. It's the second issue. It's this premium black label book. It's really high quality. I really love when Batman feels like a legit detective. I really love when Batman and Green Arrow feel like different characters. And I really dig The Question. This is 3 detectives. Green Arrow's not quite a detective, but he does detective work. This is 3 very smart characters, very different flavors, all teaming up to take on some very topical stuff. And it's so good. And it puts Batman in an antagonistic role in a very fascinating way. And I love the art. It's gritty. It just works. It's a very pulpy book. I highly recommend it. All right, next up, Batman continues to kill it because we have a new DCKO book. Now, we've got a DCKO in this current week's book I'm going to talk about in a second, but the spinoffs are just as good as the mainstream for the most part. This is Batman's spinoff. I won't say why Batman's got a spinoff, but he does, and it's awesome. Batman DCKO Night Fight #3. You'll notice this is in the Nightfall font for a reason. but it's Batman fighting a number of Robins who have become Batman, the Bat family, in a very different form. It is very, very fun. Josh Williamson writing the hell out of it, but the Dan Mora art is just so exceptional. Dan Mora gets to do so many variant versions of characters. He gets to really play in an all-new sandbox here. Highly recommend it. Night Fight, I think, is the best of the DCKO spinoffs. The main book is exceptional, but the spinoff-wise, Night Fight is my favorite. All right, last two from the week of January 7th. We're getting into some Marvel books. It was a very DC heavy book. They had more books out that week, but also these two Marvel books are exceptional. We've got Ultimate Wolverine number 13. This is, I think, the X-Men in this new Ultimate Universe that I dig. The Ultimate X-Men book just really isn't working for me. This is working for me. It feels like the Ultimate Universe in that it's really the corporations and the big conglomerates screwing over the outsiders, the underdogs, and Wolverine is the Winter Soldier in this universe, and he has been corrupted and broken like both Wolverine in our continuity, Weapon X, and Winter Soldier have, and it's a really different dynamic. It's a lot more brutal. It's very violent. Highly recommend if you like Wolverine. It's really ironic because I always say, like, it shouldn't be Wolverine in the X-Men. He's like a member, but he's not the lead. And then my favorite of the Ultimate X-Men stuff is the one where it's Wolverine in the X-Men. But it's great, so I'm not gonna, for my own ego, not include it because it's real good. All right, last of the week of the 7th, we've got X-Men 23. The X-Men books were on a little hiatus while they had the Age of Revelation. Age of Revelation was a story where Apocalypse's son basically came in and took over the world, and there was a time jump so we could tell that story, and then we time jump back, and very interestingly, in that time jump back, we've got the Cyclops from that future world in the body of our present Cyclops, and that's what happens here. So in this issue, we go back to the numbering system, we go back to regular continuity X-Men, but we've got Cyclops from that timeline. Fascinating stuff. It works. It's fun. It's very X-Men. Reminds me of like a more violent version of the all-new X-Men stuff they were doing, and I think I really like this continuity. I'm enjoying this post-Hoxpox X-Men a bit more than most people, but this one really worked for me. This issue's great. I'm excited Age of Revelation's over. I liked it. Went on a little too long. Little too many spinoffs. But overall, very excited to have this continuity back. Those, my favorite books from the week of January 7th. We're going to check on these super chats that came in, and we're going to dive into the books from the week of January 14th. And next week, when we're back on live stream, it's either going to be the last This Week in Comics, because I'm rebranding the show. We're changing some stuff up, and we're doing a new show with very different graphics. I'm excited. We're gonna have a different feel to the show. But that could be in 2 weeks or that could be next week. But either way, we're going to have graphics. Things are going to work. And I'm very excited about it. Let's talk super chats before we get to this week's books. Tell you guys, I read so hard. I read on the flight back. I canceled a couple dinners and I caught up reading. That way I didn't fall too far behind so I could bring you guys these books. But I'm so glad that I'm with this week's books because I was so afraid we couldn't do this show and I wouldn't be able to bring you guys this stuff as it was coming out. Because if you fall behind at the beginning of the year, it gets messy reading 50 books. B-Town with the super chat. B-Town saying, I'm not sure how reprints work, but will Absolute Batman 15 get a few reprints due to high demand? That is a great question. Do not feel bad not knowing how reprints work. Most of us don't. I don't. But it is supply and demand. There's also opportunities when there's an anniversary. That Superman I keep holding up with Spider-Man. But generally, like, Absolute Batman is going to get reprints. I think a few issues are on their 4th reprint. I think the first issue is on its 8th. The Joker selling like it did means there will be way more reprints. I can almost guarantee you a second printing will be out within weeks. It's just a matter of the numbers coming in and all that stuff. You will absolutely be able to get a second print of Batman number 15, and it's such a good issue. You know what? I'll say it. I'll commit. Last month, we kicked off a new show on this channel where I break down comic book arcs, and that was with Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow to celebrate the trailer. I went to New York for the trailer. I wanted to put out a video. We made that video, edited, polished. My editor crushed it. Lots of graphics and imagery. That's going to be a monthly series. That's the number one thing you guys asked for on my birthday. When I put out that contest to give away 50 comics, it ended up working out for my birthday. I loved sending out stuff on my birthday. Like, the giving was dope. But the number one thing I wanted to know from you guys was, what do you want to see more of on the page? You guys all wanted comic arcs reviewed, like I do movies and TV. So we did Supergirl to kick it off. The next one I'm doing, which hopefully is the end of the month, is going to be Absolute Batman. I think the sales in Absolute Batman are astronomical. I keep saying it, and I mean it. I think Ultimate Spider-Man in 2000 was a huge shift in comics. I think the newest shift is this Absolute Batman age. When we look back, I think the start of that book will be this new age of comics. So I want to do that as the next video. I think I'm going to go up to either 15 or 16 in my breakdown. We'll see how it goes, but that is going to be the next edited comic arc video. So love that you're excited for Absolute Batman 15 because I'm going to be breaking down Absolute Batman in a full edited arc with graphics, all the stuff. Full quality, hopefully, content for you lovelies. Hopefully at the end of the month, depending on the editor. I haven't shot it yet because I want to reread them. When I say 50 to 70 comics a week, it's because I'm rereading a lot of stuff. This week, we'll be rereading those to get a video up for you guys. Hopefully by the end of the month, worst case, early February. All right, before we get out of here, let's talk about the comics that came out this past Wednesday, mere days ago, 4 days ago. My favorite comics from the week of the 14th of January. I don't have as many of them in front of me because I thought I would have graphics, but alas, here we are. Let's see what I wrote down because I read a lot of books. First of them is going to be Action Comics 1094. Do not have it in my eye line. I think it's in one of these stacks. Action Comics 1094 is Mark Waid killing it on Superboy. This run, one of my all-time favorite Superboy runs. It is going back to the origins of the character, but in a really fun, modernized way. It's set back then, but like the writing feels so rich and alive and modern, but for that bygone era. And in this issue, it is Superboy going to war. He has to make an agreement in order to stay free, and that involves him enlisting in his own special way. And this issue is him seeing the horrors of war in a very Superboy way. It is so good. Man, I love this title. Action Comics is killing it. Next up, we've got Batman and Robin number 29. Do I have that right here? I don't know. I know I read it this morning. It was one of the last issues I read, and I loved it. Okay, I don't know where it is. Oh, it's right here. It's literally in the box next to me. Batman and Robin number 29. This is the continued journey of a newish villain. The Quiet Man was introduced in this arc about 4 or 5 months ago. Fascinating character. There is a giant gang war going on with Scarface, the ventriloquist, and Penguin. Lots of stuff afoot, and the Quiet Man's a really interesting new character. Love the Batman and Robin dynamics. Some really cool Robin stuff in this issue. Highly recommend this book. There's so much good Batman and Robin this last year, 2025, and moving into this year. All right, next up, we've got the third book in alphabetical order is going to be DC KO number 3. This book shouldn't work. If you told me there was a tournament that was like, 3 rounds, single elimination, all the villains and heroes in DC stacked up against each other, I would say that is a horrible way to do a crisis event. But then Scott Snyder's like, by the way, the writing's going to be great. The rationale behind it is dark side energy and someone having that power. The rules behind it are really fun to follow. The adventures are great. In this issue, the dynamic of the fights change because it becomes a team up. Each of the remaining 8 teams up with someone, and that dynamic is fun. The settings are fun. The art is incredible. What Snyder and Williamson are doing here is just delightful because seeing these characters team up and fight, like Big Barda and Wonder Woman teaming up, the Joker killing it in this. It's just really fun. It's like when you were a kid and you played in the sandbox and you had your action figures, but if you were an incredible writer, it's all the fun of that kind of like smash them up, but with really good writing and plausible deniability of how it's all happening. DCKO is killing it. Issue 3 is this week's next. Next up, from the world of Image Comics, from the Ghost in the Machine imprint, Geiger, number 20. This shared universe is so dope. In this issue, the Northerner, a character introduced in another comic a little while ago, is thrust into Geiger's world, and we get to see where that goes from this. Gary Frank's art is sensational. The Northerner is a really fun character I'm excited to see more of. I love Geiger. This book feels immediately classic. It feels like a character we've lived with for 20 years, and it's only a few years old. I think Geiger is spectacular, and the Northerner is a really cool, fun new character. I love the shared universe stuff. They're doing really great with it. Next up is Logan, Black and White and Blood, which I don't see. Logan, Black and White and Blood, number 1. I like anthology books when they're good. I think it's a really cool way to discover new writers, new artists, new creators you like. If you love the character and you like a certain anthology issue, you go, oh, who wrote that one? Who wrote it? And then you follow their work. And this one's a really fun, just badass Logan story. Black and White and Blood's been a thing Marvel and DC have both been doing for a long time. This issue, really solid for some Wolverine goodness. Next up, we've got Minor Arcana number 13. indie book from Image from Jeff Lemire, writing and illustrating, deals with the occult, deals with tarot cards, but it's the human element to the story that's really fun. I love the family dynamic. I love the way it twists and turns and how the occult plays into that. This issue is very manipulative, what your POV is and who's in control and power. Really fun stuff. Next up, we've got Ultimates number 20, which I do see here. Ultimates number 20. Ultimates is one of the best comics on the shelves right now. This is a 2025, now 26, version of what the Avengers would be, and they're revolutionaries. They're considered terrorists in this world. This issue is the Ultimate Network and how that ties into a very iconic Avenger, and also the way that Nick Fury works in this world is so good. I love this issue. Dennis Camp is a genius. This brings in so much Avengers lore in a very modern way, a very topical way. It can't be topped. That's maybe my favorite book of the week. Next up, we've got a happy return for me, X-Men number 22. I really love the art in this book. It is written by Gail Simone, but it is drawn by Marquez, and the art is stunning. This book is just so gorgeous. This is a Nightcrawler-centric issue. It is Nightcrawler's birthday, and it's how much everyone loves the little blue elf. But it also has a new kind of modern favorite. Mutina is a character people seem to like, and this book deals with her in a very scary way. She's a great villain. I love this art. I love Nightcrawler. I love that everything about this book is classic X-Men in an all-new way. Really dig this issue. Happy to have it back. And the last book of the week is going to be Wonder Woman Black and Gold. This book is an anthology book, but it is Mitch Gerads' first time writing. He is writing a story with Tom King and Mitch Gerads, who brought me the Incredible Mr. Miracle, who've teamed up before, who did a lot of great Batman stuff. These guys are great. I love these dudes as individuals and as creators. Mitch Gerads gets to write with Tom for the first time this Wonder Woman book. I gotta say, it is delightful. It is so much fun. The art is gorgeous. He illustrated it as well. All the anthology stuff is great, but it's really wholesome human story, and it's really something special. And yeah, I'm really stoked for them. It's really cool. So that is my last book of the week for the week of the 14th of January. And now we are all caught up. I read like 100 books this week, so we'd be caught up. I could dive into the year not chasing the dragon of getting back ahead. I'm going to be reading the books from January 21st starting today, and that way I get a little ahead, so that way we can do this show live next week with no tech issues, and it's going to be a little rebranding. It's going to be fun. So that's going to, if it works out for next week, because I got to talk to my editor, there's some stuff cooking, but that is going to be it for today's show. I'm going to get all your super chats, though, before we get out of here. I promise you, that is how we do this show, and then we are going to get out of here and have ourselves a Saturday. I'm going to the Game of Thrones Night of the Seven Kingdoms premiere in a few hours, and I think I'll be covering that show. If I like it, I'll be covering it. If I don't like it, I won't, because I don't talk shit. But I'm going, so hopefully I like it, and then you'll see coverage on this show. We'll find out together. It drops tomorrow, new HBO show. So I'm not like a Game of Thrones guy. So if I don't cover it, it's not because it's not a good show. It's just probably not for me, because I wasn't a Game of Thrones guy. But I hope I like it. It'd be fun to cover, and I'm going to the premiere tonight, because I want to support the HBO family. All right, let's see here. Here for the cookies 676. They just accept cookies. They just take them. They're like, yeah, I want them cookies. And I respect it. As a cookie dough fiend, hey, here for the cookies. Thank you. Here for the cookies. I got the premiere collection of Daredevil Born Again. It's misprinted with 227 first and ending with 233 and then 226. Is there any value in the misprint? Oh, that is fun as hell. I would keep it. There are occasional misprints that become very valuable. Usually it's for controversial stuff. Like sometimes when they swear in a comic, they're supposed to blur it out. And there's some comics where they don't blur it out. But occasionally a comic that is misprinted can become valuable. So maybe, I don't know. It's a matter of time. Like in time, you'll know if it's valuable. You won't know just yet. But that is a funny, messy thing that happened. And the premiere collection is really cool. It's like DC's little smaller books. It's like that. It's like an anime book. But Marvel's doing them now too. And I think it's a great way to sell comics. I think it's a great way to have comics be approachable, carry them around. It's a great way to collect, like as in have collections, like not, they're probably not gonna be valuable, not collect that way, but to collect stories. But maybe this one will be valuable. But yeah, it's a good way to collect stories and get to read them in a fun format. So that is rad. I love that you got that. All right, you lovelies. That is going to do it for our super chats. If any more come in the next couple minutes, I will get to them. But we are going to wrap on out of here. It's 1 o'clock. I do want to say hi to a couple people in the live chat. I'm going to try to hit some live chat questions. Let's see here. Have I seen Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees? I did. I liked it, but I kind of fell off. It wasn't enough to keep me going, and that unfortunately is how it has to be with so many comics coming out. The Uncanny X-Men is the vibes of the original X-Men anime. Yeah, the Uncanny X-Men book is real, real good. Only 6 episodes apparently. Yeah, I'm seeing the first 2, so I'm hoping I like it, because that would be a third of the show. So if I do, I'll cover it. Ventriloquist, a villain I want to see in live action. Hell yeah, Chris Garcia. I think that might happen. It feels like a character that either of the DCU or Matt Reeves could adapt. Love the reveal of Wesker's actual state of mind. The previous issues of BNR shocked me. Hell yeah, Darth Vader reading the good stuff. Checking out Primal. I don't have a lot of interest. I'm not really a horror guy. I'm getting to be a horror guy, like the Bone Temple and Black Phone, and those are getting me back in. Primal, not Primate. Primal. Probably also not. Yeah, there's a lot to watch. Unless it's like a must. If it's not, fuck yeah, it's probably not. Just because time. Wade's crushing action comics. I totally agree. Your Nita Costa interview is now up. Thank you, Calm Down Rich. Guys, check out my interview with Nita Costa over at Real Rejects. It's up. That makes me happy. Hell yeah. All right. It froze way back. Thank you, SP Bat. I appreciate, because I was worried and then I was just talking to nobody. Thank you. I love these pics in the background too. They go up. There's more. And then they go down. There's more. I don't know if you can see down there, but there's tons. These are probably going to get shifted because it's a new year, but I got tons. I actually got, so this is about half of my displays. So I'm going to probably swap some out, and I like playing around with what's behind me. All right. Comics, Darth Vader's got Spider-Man 18, 19, Avengers 33 and 34. Good stuff. I liked a lot of that. Amazing Spider-Man's getting a little better. I'm a fan. Derpy, a dope of DC content besides Boba Talks. You're up there for sure. I don't know who Boba Talks is, but they sound great. I'm happy for them. Thank you for the kind words. Thor playing Kratos will never not be hilarious. I wonder who they'll cast to actually play the show version of Thor now. That's funny. All right, Spidey Sensei in here. Abernathy, timestamp guy. You do a service timestamp guy. Great Bone Temple interview. Thank you. You guys are already watching. That makes me happy. I would love to see Zatanna in live action. Yeah, that's my, I want, speaking of Bone Temple, Jack O'Connell, Constantine. Let's make it happen. Jack O'Connell will be the perfect Constantine after talking to him. Holy shit. And then Zatanna, I want in there as well. I don't know who, but Olivia Thirlby or someone like that. I'm excited for Clayface as well. Runic King. Mike Flanagan is always killing it. Will McLean, good to see you in here. Zach Attack is cool. Second trailer is his favorite. The Thor one. Respect. It's a fantastic trailer. Why So Sidious Pod, good to see you. Live action iteration of DCU characters, not so much the Foundation being animated, especially Dynamic Duo. Wanted to see all the Robins live action story. I think we'll get live action Robins eventually, but man, that Dynamic Duo art looks amazing. I'm actually more excited for Dynamic Duo because it's puppets and CGI and like a blend of stuff. I think Dynamic Duo looks crazy good. That was my favorite footage. Favorite tidbit of footage out of CinemaCon. My favorite full footage was The Bride, which comes out in March. I'm very excited about it. Nightwing, good to see Nightwing Boy Wonder in here. I saw earlier we had the Nightwing that I know, Detective McCarsel in here. Dan V900 always killing it, and I very appreciate the super chats. I think that is going to do it, you lovelies. Ending us out with Keep Crushing 2026. Go ahead, have a great January, everyone. Thank you, Patrick Modeling. Better late than never, and that's the power of the internet. You can rewatch it. Good to see you in here, good sir. Something is Killing the Children is still ongoing. I just got my issue 45 in a little bit ago, so it is go until issue 100 at least. James Tynan confirms. So yes, it is still ongoing. It is still incredible. All right, you lovelies. Seb Centeno. Hey, Coy, hope you're doing well. Been watching for over a year now. I don't always agree with your takes, but I love your channel. It's been a very positive space for comics. Hell yeah. I would hope you don't always agree with my takes. I think opinions are important to be different, but thank you. I do try to always be positive, even if it's about stuff that I don't love. I try to always speak positively. So thank you very much. And that's very kind words to end the stream. I appreciate it very much. That is going to do it, you lovelies. I will see you next week, no matter what, for a live stream, whether it's the last This Week in Comics or the new show, which I'm going to be announcing. We'll do a little graphic. We're going to make it a whole thing. Either way, next Saturday, we'll be live again. Next week, you can look out for the interview with me and my dad. I interviewed my dad about Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. I'm very proud of that video. I'm very excited about it. That drops no matter what next week. And then probably something else. I'm going to see what the schedule looks like, but I'm trying to get at least 3 videos a week up for you lovelies. And then the following week is stacked because it's going to be Wonder Man. We're going to do at least, or no, probably 4 videos, 2 episodes at a time. So that'll be on the 27th. Big day. And then that weekend is one of my most anticipated of the year. Good luck. Have fun. Don't die, which is Gore Verbinski and Sam Rockwell. That'll be the last week of the month. And then a live stream as always. So lots of stuff to come this January. Hit that subscription bell if you're not subscribed already. Hit that like. It helps the algorithm. It means a lot to me. I saw the like rate go up while we were doing this. And leave a comment below. Let me know if you're excited for Sebastian Stan, maybe as Harvey Dent. Let me know what you thought of those Doomsday teasers. What was your favorite? What was your vibe for them? Do you get the same assessment I did? And let me know what comics you're reading, especially if they're any of the ones we talked about. But anything you're digging, let me know. I will talk to y'all very soon. I appreciate you, and we'll see you soon. Happy fucking New Year. Hope it's been bitching so far. Hope it gets even more bitching. Appreciate y'all. Bye.